Hello and welcome to Law and Order SVU here on FANVERSATION. I am Yael Tygiel. That's Taylor Gates. This is Law and Order SVU, talking about season 26, episode 5, Economics of Shame. Finally, a episode title that fits the episode.
That makes sense. We love to see it.
Love to see it. If you are in a situation where you need help, please reach out to RAINN. Their number is 1-800-656-4673. I said all of that without even looking at it. 1-800-656-4673. I was correct. What does 4673 spell, Taylor?
It spells hope.
It does. And that's what RAINN does. They provide hope. So reach out to them. I assume their number hasn't changed since we started doing this because I literally have not looked at it. This episode deals with sextortion, and that is a serious topic and a serious thing that happens. But this after show podcast is not a serious place. So consider this your content warning. We'll say some shit. You've been warned. Welcome to SVU. We have people live in the chat. Taylor, we have a Taylor in the chat. Hello. And Alexa in the chat. Wonderful. I love having live viewers. We like hearing your thoughts. Taylor, what did you think of this episode? Should I read the quick cap first? I don't remember how the show works.
Sorry, that Indiana Wi-Fi really got me again.
Great. I'm going to read the quick cap. When a TV reporter becomes the victim of sextortion that could ruin her career, Benson helps her take back control while Velasco goes undercover as a potential rich target. Taylor, what did you think of this episode?
So, I found the TV host so annoying. I'm so sorry. You're so obnoxious. But I will say I liked the other parts of it. I loved the bereavement group girl.
Yeah.
Loved. And I have to say, our little trio with Velasco and Bruno and Silva, I was kind of digging it. I kind of liked their scene together. And so I was like, okay, like that was a pleasant little surprise. I was like really feeling their chemistry there. And I'm like, give me more of that, because that's the first time I've ever liked most of you. And I think they had a good chemistry together.
Wow. High praise.
Yeah. But the main TV girl, no, it's enough.
Well, I'll say this. I thought this episode brought up a fascinating concept. I was here for it. I was disappointed with the lack of twists, which I know is like a big you thing.
I mean, there were a couple. Like the fact that the guy was like being blackmailed into helping. Also, the like, we're allowed to curse, like really curse on this, yeah. But
yeah, I'd mark it as for
adult. The cunty DA at the end, like being like not actually a good lawyer. I was like loved her from the beginning. I was like, ooh, she's serving. Like she's a bitch. I love it. And then it turned out that she was like
the defense attorney.
Good job. I like that.
The defense attorney.
Yeah, the guy's attorney.
Oh, hilarious.
I loved it. So I like that, those two parts.
I didn't feel like it was a twist. When that guy went to pick up the money, I went, oh, so yes, it was a surprise that he was also a victim who's being forced to work off his debt. But I was like, oh, he's just another hired person like the models that they hired to date.
Yeah, but I don't know. The fact that like he was working it off because he didn't have, I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting.
All right. I agree. I think the resolution was ridiculous, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so Kelsey Summers was our news reporter. I will say that was the most awkward first date to witness ever, which honestly almost made it feel kind of real, because I was like, this is not television. This is so uncomfortable to watch. Let's give some actor shout outs. So Kelsey Summers was played by Elizabeth. Ooh, I can't even see it. Sorry, guys. There we go. Now it's bigger. Alderfer. Elizabeth Alderfer was our Kelsey Summers. Neil, the guy the bagman who was being blackmailed, is Travis. Why did I choose this one? Przybylski. Constantine was played by Leo Georgalis. why does everyone have hard names today? Audra was Shanti Fines. Ruby was Kylie McNeil. I think, let me look up if this is the lawyer you liked so I can give her proper. Yeah. Okay. The lawyer that you liked is Eno. Oh man. Badinyak, I'm guessing is how that's pronounced. Oh, all these names are so hard. And then Basil was Mark DiConzo. Tyler, the model, was Jesse Allen Hittner. This is an interesting cast. I like the idea that this guy hired models or like attractive people to essentially be escorts. He was pimping them out. That was interesting.
Yeah, I mean the whole scam was like pretty interesting, honestly.
I will say the like Kelsey's nudes and really like Neil's nudes, stuff like that. This day and age, and this maybe I'm jaded. I'm like, so what? Like, I get it.
That's
Yes.
how I felt too. I was like, you're on the roof of the building for that? Like, it's just not.
But like, I understand that, yes, if your nudes are leaked, that, yes, I understand that that is awful and horrific and you do not deserve that. But the like video footage that was released, she didn't do anything wrong in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is, if this was back when A Night in Paris was released, like totally timely. Now it almost feels like, who hasn't had their nudes released?
I agree. It's like, it's obviously wrong, traumatic. I understand.
And yes, they're taking away your ability to consent and your power. I totally get that.
But also, like, it's okay. Especially, I think, because, and maybe this is a weird thing to say, but like, they're in New York City. Like, if this was in like a very conservative sort of environment, sure. And I get that she's like in media or whatever, but even just like, who's gonna trust me now with my judgment? I'm like, how does that make any, like, how does that correlate? And I understand there are people who think that, like, stupid people will be like, well, she's a bad role model, but we can't trust her, blah, blah, blah. But like, one would hope the majority of rational people are not going to like discredit her like newscasting abilities because she got a nude. That's just dumb. I don't know. Maybe I'm like too optimistic, but
I'm with you. Alexa in the chat says, but who wants their nudes sent to their parents and coworkers? I get that, right? Like, you don't want that. But two things. One, like the extorter is going to ask for more money, right? Like, you are going to pay them and they are going to probably ask for more money. So it's not over. It's almost never over. And if they release them, then they no longer have anything over you.
Yeah.
So like, again, her nudes, specifically Kelsey's, like the video itself, that was a private moment that she was not, she did not consent to being recorded or being released. And that in and of itself is like an interesting discussion to have, but like, shouldn't affect her work. I understand that her work is like, hey, this got sent to all of us. That's inappropriate. Right. I'm being extorted.
Yeah.
Like, as we find out with Neil later, when he is like, I got wrongfully terminated. Yeah, you also would have been had you gotten in trouble for it. Mm-hmm. That said, the sexting that she did when she sent him a photo from the work bathroom. Let's talk about that for a second. Don't send nudes from work. That's like, you're asking for trouble by sending nudes at work. Like, work is not the place to do sexy things.
She's in the bathroom, so whatever.
On the clock.
Well, maybe it was lunch.
Also, I'll share everyone my personal nudes rule. I do not take photos that I would not want my parents to see. That's like a personal rule that I have. Which if you've seen my Instagram, like those are public photos. My parents can see those. So I think that's like the best policy, right? Is not to take photos that you wouldn't want someone to see. And, you know, that's different than like them taking the video that she did not consent to. I understand the difference.
Yeah.
But like, you know, also that's the other thing. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was not an SVU episode that said this, but it was something about like, if people stopped sharing, you know, like revenge porn, if people stopped sharing the photos that they got sent, maybe we'd send more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking in circles today. Anyway, what do we think about the 50,000 being the amount? That felt like a very,
That's high.
it was random.
Yeah, that's real high too.
I was waiting for that to be something specific. You know what I mean? Like, because it was the exact amount each time.
Yeah.
Which made me think like, oh, there, you know, at any higher than 50,000, it raises the felony or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, no, just an arbitrary number.
It's 50K.
I really liked the Ruby storyline that you were talking about with the bereavement group.
That was so fucked up.
Yes.
The poor girl. She's like such a little angel. She's like taking care of her sister, getting her Shake Shack and everything too. Oh, she didn't deserve that. She deserved better.
Her story was heartbreaking. And then at the end, when Benson was like, eventually you'll get your money. My notes say eventually in all caps because eventually is going to be years, Ruby. I don't know why we're pretending that you're going to get your money in a couple months. No, it's going to be years. If you get it at all from the NYPD, you would be, Ruby, you would be faster to earn your money by civil suit. Sue the brothers now.
Yeah.
That money will come in faster and then wait for NYPD to turn around and give you what you're owed.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Velasco going undercover.
He did a good job. They know what he's good for, it seems. He's good at undercover.
Yeah, but so is Finn.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I liked seeing him in this like environment.
I did too. I was actually surprised though that they went with him and not Silva. I thought this was going to be her chance to go undercover.
Yeah.
I will say though, I liked that we went this route. I like that we brought back that's his experience. I like that we used him for something because I feel like we never do.
Yeah.
But the fact that Silva like has done her research on everybody, interesting. But then
I do the same thing.
You research your coworkers?
If I was her, probably.
Okay. Because like, and then our thing about Bruno being like, well, my dad doesn't like you. I have a problem. Sorry. I have a problem with people who like set their beliefs on their parents' opinions as opposed to what they think.
I don't really feel that much judgment from her.
It just didn't need to be said.
I think they're just trying to remind us that her dad was like in NYPD. Like the
Yeah.
I hope that comes up because I don't like that. The fact that that's her background. I've said that before, but I hope she's like forced to take different viewpoints than what she's like grown up with and like has to argue with her dad. And you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I would love that back instead of feed into it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is I would love to see that. I think it was interesting that Bruno gave him the watch.
I like that.
I liked it too, but it raises the question. How many watches does Bruno have to be giving him away? Because this is not the first time he gave away a watch.
I like that that's his thing. And I did like I said, I love that he just asked for it back immediately. I thought it was cute. Like, I don't know. I really liked that scene.
I agree. I like Bruno. Any Bruno scene makes me happy.
He's
But
like,
Bruno Velasquez are a good team.
yeah, Bruno felt like the wiser uncle of the trio, and then we had Velasco being like the big brother, and so was like the little baby of the group. I don't know. I thought it was fun, and they were kind of like teasing each other a little, but also like preparing. I really liked that scene, and I was shocked because I was like, oh god, here we go. And then I was like, okay, I'm like really pleasantly surprised by how that played out and how much I liked it.
I agree with you. I would like to see more of that dynamic and see where it goes. I would like to see Silva grow. Daryl says, if you've got money, you have 3 watches for different looks. Fine, but he gave one away in a previous season, right, to like expedite some lab. And now he's, letting Velasco borrow this one. I'm just saying, do something better with your money, Bruno.
That's his thing.
Fine. I do like when the SVU pit the brothers against each other. It reminds me of when they have like they've had like 4 like wealthy boys, like teenagers, and being like, well, he's getting a deal. So do you want to talk first?
Yeah.
I like that. But are they allowed to undermine his lawyer?
Like, what do you mean?
When they were like, I don't think she's representing you.
Oh, I don't know, but I was here for it.
I mean, it was an interesting twist, or an interesting
kind of brilliant, you know?
Yeah, but I was like, are they allowed to do that? I mean, I'm sure they are. They're allowed to do whatever they want.
Kind of here for it.
They're awful. I enjoyed this. I also like that Basil was trying to run without like he didn't have a boarding pass, he didn't have a plane, he had 85,000 strapped to him in cash, and his lawyer tried to say when they were at arraignment that like it was a pre-set trip, and I was like, he didn't have a boarding pass.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the episode. I enjoyed it.
We're not going to talk about the twist at the end.
What was the twist at the end?
Of her being like, I was undercover.
Oh, right.
Like, yes. Up. And Olivia was like, I'm so proud of this. I'm like, stupid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When I am reporting on something, I also go so undercover that I record a sex tape and release it.
And also her little speech about it was so stupid. I'm so sorry. I'm not hating on you, actress. You did a good job of what you had, but this character drove me insane. She was like, yeah, you think that you're too smart? Well, not if you have a heart. I was like, okay. I just hated it a lot.
Honestly, I think there would have been a better way to spin it. Like, I think there could have been another way to spin it. And her claiming she was undercover is silly.
It's so dumb. And the fact that Olivia was in on it was also so dumb. Like, I wish she would have just done it herself. Then I would have liked it a little bit more. But the fact that Olivia was like, I have an idea. Like, no, you're too smart for that. If she did it herself, that would be silly and goofy. You know what I mean? That shouldn't have come from our team.
I think Olivia just being like, there are ways to handle this is sufficient.
Right.
And then have her be like,
go off the walls. And Olivia's like, that's literally not what I meant.
But okay.
Go for it. I kind of wanted, if they're going to go this route with this character, I wish that she would have crossed lines. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to be talking to the other people in this case. You're not supposed to be saying this. You're not supposed to be exploiting what happened. Like, I wish that she would have gone fully unhinged then. If she's gonna do something like that, have her cross lines and be like, you're becoming a problem. Or have her actually have gone undercover and Olivia's like, girl, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't know. I just feel like there was a way to play it that would have been better than what they did.
I agree. Also, when they were like, we got him. We got everything. All I could think was, it's still going to be released. Like,
right. Also, like, you think that they haven't sent anything to anyone else and it exists somewhere else? Like, give me a break.
Also, does our team not know how technology works? That like you can schedule emails?
Yeah.
I schedule you things all the time.
Yeah.
Alexa in the chat, good question. Was the jump attempt a part of the undercover too? Very good question. I think this episode like really downplayed suicide though, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like she had the attempt early on, and then at the end was like, I should have jumped. And then there's also one of the other victims that they'd found that did kill themselves.
Yeah. I agree. I was like, maybe we take this a little more seriously. I also, this is not related, but Velasco, what was his undercover job again? Like a hedge fund something?
It was a venture capitalist.
Venture capitalist. I personally would not feel comfortable going undercover as that because I don't really know enough about that. And I just feel like Velasco wouldn't either. Like, you should have picked a job that's like, I mean, I don't know how much the date would ask, but surely they'd be like, so what do you do? Tell me about that. Like, I have no clue what I would say with that. Like, that's a really, I feel like, sort of complex job to pretend to be.
You know what's funny about that?
Am I wrong?
So yes and no. Because no one knows, because the general public wouldn't necessarily know a lot about venture capitalism, I think, or venture capitalists, I think that I see on dating apps all the time, people put like that, or they put hedge funds, or they put like investments, or they put like import export, and all of those, to me, when I see them on a dating app, I go catfish.
I just go finance for sure, but like, you run the risk of this person knowing about that somehow and asking questions that you cannot answer. Like,
yeah, but the proper catfish knows how to deflect and
but would Velasco, like, how much was he trained to know?
Nothing. He doesn't need to, because he just brings the conversation back to whatever. And also, she, being the like honey trap, doesn't need to know anything, or would never ask about his work.
I know. I don't know. I just would feel really nervous going undercover for something I know so little about.
I think that's a very funny point, and I love that you made it. Because it reminds me of when we had, was it Khaldun being a tech bro?
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I would want to feel prepared, you know? Like, I'd want to do some real classes to like know what that's talking about. Undercover would be scary because it's constantly improv, and if you mess up, like, it's really bad for you.
That's true.
Scary.
I think he did a great job.
He did, but I would not feel good in that position.
You're not a cop
that you know of. Maybe I'm undercover.
You're doing an investigative report on podcasts.
Yeah, maybe so.
For years, you've been investigating podcasts.
If you have a heart, you can be tricked by it.
Hilarious. All right. Best lines?
Let's do it.
I got nothing, so it's all you.
Great. Okay, well, I love the little host at the beginning. He was so supportive of her. He's like, you've got a hunk waiting at your table. I was like, this guy's so unnecessary, but I did love his energy. I hated that Kelsey was surprised that he read the profile. Like, it's not that. It's like 3 sentences.
So sorry. That's because you date women. It is shocking. But it is like, shocking when a man who dates women reads the profile.
That's crazy, because aren't they like 3 sentences tops?
No. Sometimes they're like paragraphs.
Oh. Usually the ones I'm on is just like little tiny things.
But even if it's that, they usually don't read it.
That's so sad.
Yes. Sorry. Let us clarify for those who don't date men. Go on.
Anyway, that's depressing. I really felt called out in this episode by the guy who got fired because of AI, and so that would really depress me, honestly. But I did like the line, "I don't see an unemployed copywriter willing to do time." I said, "That's facts," because I also wouldn't. All of Velasco's undercover work with tequila, loved. Didn't write anything specific. I just liked that part. He's small time with an extortion ring. We all have our dreams. So true. And finally, nice place if you got no taste. Like, really dragged him. And there is a lot of money in other people's shame. I was like, wow, that kind of ate. Like, it was really true.
Absolutely. Great lines. Thank you for that. It reminds me, like, Bruno's character was supposed to be married for the undercover sting. And honestly, I feel like that is where I wish the extortion ring had like focused on that, on like, you know, cheaters, because like instead we had, you know, they went after women who were specifically like up and coming in their careers and who had something to lose, and the Ruby, the poor girl who is was in a bereavement group. Like, it's just so heartless when, if you're gonna extort people, like extort people to deserve it.
So true. Scam the people who should be scammed.
Yeah. Not that we support scams.
If they're funny.
All right. Now it's time for shower thoughts for our friends.
I'll go first.
Okay, but for our friends who listen in the shower, go ahead.
Mara, call Yael.
Thanks. That's all you had?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mara, call me. But I was thinking about how much dating apps suck, and the fact that, like, I guess you didn't realize that the men on dating apps usually don't read the profiles.
I just think that's so lazy. There's so little information already.
But so there's a couple of reasons for that. One, yes, I do think there's a big laziness factor, but dating apps specifically, technologically wise, the way that they are built, hello?
Literally supposed to be the room in the house where it works best, but here we are.
Did you leave or did I leave? What happened?
My Wi-Fi broke.
Mine too.
Whoa. Wait, that's crazy.
Oh man, Deanna in the chat says Bumble hacked the podcast. I'm glad the stream continued. Hopefully,
Cheryl said big dating app shut it down. They did. They sniped us hard. That was crazy.
I really hope everyone can still hear and see us and that we're still going. Let us know if you can see us. That's
wait. Okay, so you were saying something about dating apps technologically. I'm gonna guess what you said because I didn't hear after that.
Okay.
Are you talking about how it prioritizes pictures over any words?
That's not what I was going to talk about.
But
it is true. But what I was going to say is the dating apps make it so it's harder for men to find or to match with women. And so I'm talking just in a heteronormative situation when we're talking about men who are dating women and women who are dating men. The way that the apps are made have it so that men have to swipe yes almost 100% of the time just to match with a woman, just to get one match, right? There's something about the way that they made them to do that. It's to keep people on these apps, right? Like even Hinge, whose entire like mentality or claim is that they want you to delete them. Like, no, they want you to stay on the app. They want you to stay and keep using this. Hopefully people are still watching us in live and we're still recording.
Say something.
Oh man. Yeah. We were at, yes, dating apps are the worst. But I agree with you as well that like they very much prioritize photos. A lot of people on the apps, I have seen a lot of men on the apps will swipe yes. And then if you also match them, then they will read your profile and be like, oh, okay, we're actually not a good fit. Like I matched a whole bunch of people that were not good fits. And I straight up said to them, I went, why would you swipe right?
Yeah.
Like, what was it that and one of the guys was like, oh, I didn't read your profile.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then I think I posted a thing complaining about how like once I get a like, I then go through your profile and I'm like, are we a good fit? And then it's like on me to check these facts when you could have done this and saved us both time. But it saved them time because I did all the work.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Everyone says they can hear and see us. Awesome. Anyway, that's us shitting on dating apps.
There you go.
All right. What did you learn?
Venture capitalism. Except I didn't learn that. I learned that I would be scared of going undercover.
Okay.
Because I don't know about venture capitalism.
All right. Or being a venture capitalist. I don't think venture capitalism
is good at it.
No, I just don't think venture capitalism is the right term, actually.
Well, then what would it be?
I think it's like being a venture capitalist, but I don't actually know.
But in the industry, what would it be called?
Great question. Daryl in the chat says, I'm a guy and I've had people match and then delete when I greet them. Interesting. The apps are terrible. They really are just like the worst. All right. What did I learn? I learned, actually, I went to look up different like laws, sextortion laws in different states. And what I found was something else. So I don't know necessarily which states have sextortion laws, but I did learn a little bit more about sextortion. It is extortion that is using threats or force to coerce someone into doing something of a sexual nature, like threatening that their nudes will be released unless they provide money or valuables, give more sexual photos, or perform sex acts. The bad actor may have gotten a person's nudes with or without permission. In the case of a hacked phone or computer, individuals may feel immense shame in the case of extortion, afraid that people will see it and judge them. But then I learned, and this is not that surprising, but is horrific, that young boys are especially at risk for sextortion. While anyone of any age can become a victim of sextortion, there's been a recent trend of boys being targeted. In these cases, boys are contacted by what they think are young girls. In reality, it's scammers hoping to extort monies or photos from them by requesting and receiving nudes from these boys. That's
interesting.
According to the FBI, more than dozens of boys die by suicide after becoming sextortion victims. Yeah. So just remember, if you find yourself in this situation, you've done nothing wrong. Report it, get help, and save all of the evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Rough. Not to bring down our show. Should I talk about something silly?
Yeah.
So choking.
Yeah, so silly. Like yesterday's episode was so silly.
I honestly, so I went out with friends yesterday and was telling them all about how I got to sit on a soapbox and teach everybody about choking. And my friends are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We love it.
I'm so glad. I'm really glad that I could teach about kink, even though I'm not an expert and definitely not choking because that's not my thing. Anyway, that's enough about choking. This has been season 26, episode 5, Economics of Shame. For those who missed it, we are doing an episode a day this week. It is the 7 days of SVU because fuck Christmas. As we catch up on the season because we were busy, I am fascinated to see how this episode ends with a big glitch in the middle.
Yeah, same, actually.
It's going to be real fun when I download the stream and have to put it up on the audio version.
Yep.
But until tomorrow, where we will be at 11 Pacific to Eastern, because I can't move later tomorrow. Until then, Taylor, where are you on the internet and what are you up to these days?
I'm still on Twitter at alphabet_Ann, mostly tweeting about Agatha all along still. I'm also on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I also write and do interviews for Collider, so literally type my name in Collider and you can read my reviews and interviews and all of that if you would be so inclined. And on FANVERSATION too, actually. Not as many there, but still, they're bangers, so check them out.
That's true. I am Yael Tygiel. I am on Instagram at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Mara, please call me. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.